Vacation pictures. How do you take them? What equipment do you use? Where should you store them? Better yet, how can you display them? We're going to give you some ideas for all of that on episode 110 of The Family Vacationer, and it starts right now.
Welcome to The Family Vacationer with Rob and Danny. The go-to podcast for families on the move.
Welcome, friends. I'm Rob.
And I'm Danny, and welcome to episode 110 of The Family Vacationer. On our last episode, we had a great conversation with Jennifer Allen of the Wonders Within Reach blog. Now, for families that have a child that's disabled, the thought of traveling as a family can sometimes feel more than overwhelming. And Jennifer's blog offers a wealth of resources on ways to make travel a lot easier. She even reviews different places and their accessibility. So please, if you are a family in that position or know anyone that is, share episode 109 with them. You can also visit her blog at www.wonderswithinreach.com.
That's right. And today we're talking vacation pictures, taking them, storing them, displaying them. Now, I know this shows our age just a little bit, but when Dan and I were younger, you know, our parents would take pictures on vacation. They'd develop the film when they got home, which my kids have no understanding of. And then they'd put the keepers in a photo album and the rest in a shoebox or a plastic bin or some drawer that was rarely opened. Today, the game's a little different. It's different in how you take the pictures, how you store them, where they pop up. We absolutely recognize that some people still do the photo album thing. And if you're one of those people, bless your heart, you have much more patience than I do.
All right, let's start off with how you take the pictures. The reality is nowadays that most of us are carrying around all the camera we need in our phones. Now, if Apple is your jam, then iPhone 14 Pro, the Pro Max, those have the top of the line camera features. Now, personally, I'm still rolling with my iPhone 13, and the camera on it is really good. Beyond the 12, you start compromising on camera quality, but they're still perfectly fine when it comes to capturing family vacation photos and video. So now beyond Apple, there are quite a few stellar camera options. The Google Pixel 7 Pro has a telephoto wide angle lens and a 24-hour battery. Now, Google has the Pixel 6, which is a highly rated camera phone with a 12 megapixel camera and that 24-hour battery. Samsung has the S22 Ultra. That one comes with an 8K camera for pictures and video and a super fast processor. Now, by no means is this list exhaustive. It's just a place to start. And depending on when you listen to this, the list could already be out of date. So the way technology works these days, I mean, by the time you put out a list, there's already something better. So this is really just a starting point.
That's right. And, you know, there is a whole world of DSLR cameras out there, most of which you can take amazing pictures just by leaving it on the automatic setting, which I had a Canon 7D for several years, and that's what I did. I left it on the auto feature. If you really want to get the best out of those cameras, though, then you really need to take a photography course, either online or in person. A lot of colleges have, continuing education classes that offer photography. With the advancement of phone cameras, though, and just how expensive and cumbersome of a hobby using those DSL cameras can be, I just think the camera in your phone is your best bet.
Yeah.
It's the easiest option for sure, and it's what we're going to focus on.
Yeah.
So how do you take great pictures with your phone camera? All right, here's a practical list of ways that you can improve your pictures. Lighting. Now, one of the most common mistakes that people make is having the light source behind the person that you're trying to take a picture of.
Yeah.
It gets a great shot of the background, but it leaves the person's face dark. And the person's the most important part of the picture, right?
Yep.
So if you always want to have the light source in front of the person you're taking a picture of. Now, what if the picture you want is directly into the sun? Use the portrait mode. That way the subject of your picture will come into focus in the forefront and it'll blur the background, the sun. Portrait mode is also the easiest way to make your pictures look somewhat professional using your phone. So definitely tinker around with all the options on your camera. There's a ton of them on these phone cameras. No matter how advanced the camera phone is, avoid using the flash when it's dark. Look for alternative light sources like a street lamp, anything like that. The flash is just rarely going to be strong enough to make the picture as vibrant as you'd like.
Yeah. And up next, number 2 is the rule of thirds. Now, everybody has a natural inclination to put the people in the center of the shot. But, to make the show more interesting, put the person on the right, the left, or the bottom, or the top third of the picture. And this really just makes for a better picture than, hey, here I am standing in front of wherever you are. And also, if you're watching on YouTube, I'm going to add that, people want to hold their phones like this straight up.
Yeah.
Yep. They do this all the time. You see people filming events, something's going on. Oh, I get my phone out. They film with their phone straight up. And I'm not really sure why they do that unless they're shooting specifically for TikTok or one of the phone-based apps that, show in that ratio. But if you want a good picture, turn your phone to the sideways. You're going to get a nice wide angle shot. And also if you're filming for YouTube or whatever, you're going to put it on a YouTube channel. You want your shot to be wide and fill up the screen. You just get more of your memories that way.
Yep. And I'm guilty of that, Dan. For me, though, it's just my big ham hands. When I turn it to the side, I just feel like I don't have as good of a grip on the phone. That's just me. But I'm definitely guilty of that. So while we're talking about people, don't forget them in the shot, right? Yep. So my wife and I went to see the Grand Canyon years ago. It was her first visit. I'd been several times before. You come into the train station there, then they get you on a bus. You can't really see much. And then you kind of turn the corner and it opens up and you see the Grand Canyon. And it really is truly spectacular.
Yeah, it is.
So as we were doing this, I'm watching my wife for her reaction. Now, if I had it to do over again, I'd take a picture of her face as we turn that corner. Mm-hmm. It was the coolest thing ever. And it would be great to have that shot. Yeah. It's great to have shots of beautiful vistas, but it's the people in the shot that really make the pictures memorable.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, so next, doing it for the gram. It's easy to be guilty of trying to get that perfect shot to post of your trip. So you got Instagram, you got Facebook open, and you're going to snap a picture of your trip. Well, the problem there is when you open the app and you use the camera feature within the app, it shrinks the original size of the picture and it makes them really, really awful for printing. So you don't want to do that. The quality is reduced for whatever whatever end purpose you have for those pictures. You don't really have that quality. So also it's easy to think about what photo is going to get the most likes on your social media platform. And that doesn't always lead you to taking the best picture for your family.
That's right. And listen, there always seems to be the designated picture taker in the family, right? Mm-hmm. Especially if mom or dad is rocking one of those big DSLR cameras. They don't want to have anybody else take pictures. But what happens is you wind up with a lot of pictures of everyone else in the family except the designated picture taker.
Right.
And I'm guilty of this. I'm not a huge fan of having my picture taken. I have a body made for audio, but I'm less a fan of having all these family pictures without me in them. So even if you don't like having your picture taken, get in the picture. Your kids will absolutely appreciate that later in life.
Yeah, make the memories.
Yep. Video. Less is always more when it comes to capturing video. It's good to capture 3 to 5 seconds of video every couple hours. Having the pictures of the kids is great, but I like having video of their mannerisms, their voice at the time.
Yeah.
Those are really priceless, right?
Right.
The less shaky, the better, though. If you have to put it on a table, if you have to prop it up, anything but those shaky videos. I know when I was a teen, my dad would film my football games, and it was like he was on a boat, right?
Yeah, right.
But really, that was because it's hard to be in the moment and take good pictures, of pictures and video, which leads to the last item on the list.
Yes, and the last one is don't be afraid to put the camera down and just be in the moment. I do remember, my daughters were young. They're playing basketball or, whatever they're doing, ballet. I want to be that dad that films every second. And it's great to have pictures and video and keepsakes, but I guarantee you that your kids would prefer to have you in that moment with them. You know, that you're worried about capturing the perfect picture. Just be in the moment sometimes. And we all know this, but it's really good. It's good to have that reminder every once in a while. The memory is going to trump the picture taking every time.
Yeah. Yeah. And I made a conscious decision with my boys playing soccer. With my daughter, as she was coming up, I was all about taking all the video I could and the pictures, but you miss a lot that's going on.
Yeah.
And I just feel like I'd rather live the moment than record the moment. If I don't get all the pictures, same with vacation. If you don't get all the pictures, it's okay. You still went. You still have the memories, and the memories are the most important part of it. That's right. Just my opinion.
You're right.
All right. Well, storage. So a lot of us take picture after picture after picture, and we have our settings as such that it uploads to the cloud and or on our computer as well. Now, for some of us, particularly the younger folks who have grown up this way, that's totally fine, right?
Yeah.
It's not hard to go into your pictures on your computer. You can create and organize folders where it's relatively easy to find a picture you're looking for. Dan, do you do that?
Oh, yeah. I mean, man, like crazy. It's tough.
I don't. I don't. I'm the guy that's going, wait, we have that picture, and then you have to go through the month and the year. Anyway, that's me.
Yeah, I understand.
But it could very well be my age again, but I'm also reluctant to rely completely on the cloud for backing things up, and before those days of backing them up that way, who hasn't lost pictures on a computer that crashes, right?
Exactly.
You're not backed up anywhere, and that can be expensive and really frustrating at times when you take your computer to the local expert to try and recover those pictures.
Yeah. And I'm just going to go throw this in. When you're thinking about options to store, which we're about to talk about a few options, you got to understand DVDs that you buy, because you're going to burn that old VHS to a DVD or something. Those tapes have a shelf life, and they're going to go bad at some point. DVDs are going to go bad at some point. So, we really haven't developed the perfect storage place. So this is where you really need to start looking at various options and updating those as time goes on. So what then? There are some options to back up your backup. Portable external drives have come down so far in price that it's now really cost effective to have one to back up important documents, pictures, video. And a lot of these are plug and play, and they use drag and drop functionality to move pictures to these drives. Price wise, these have really gotten better. These start around $20 for a 4 terabyte and fits in the palm of your hand. Now,
Dan, do you remember? Do you remember though that when like 1 terabyte, what that used to look like on an external drive?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It used to be huge, right? And now they fit in the palm of your hand. 4 terabytes fit in the palm of your hand.
Exactly.
Crazy.
It is amazing. Another option is the Photostick Omni. This one comes with a dongle that fits just about any computer, phone, or tablet. And you just plug this into your device, and it immediately searches out your pictures and your video on your device and saves it. You can get your hands on one of these starting around $60. Totally worth it. The issue with any of these external drives is storage for your storage. Where do you keep them?
Yeah, right. So if the idea is that you want to back up your computer so that you have these pictures, where do you store your storage? And for me, I have both an external drive and a photo stick. What I do, because seriously, if my house were to burn down tomorrow, God forbid, one of the top things I would worry about would be my pictures, my memories.
Absolutely.
So again, it's good to have the cloud. That's one good way to have that. There are issues with that, but you can replace a lot of things around the house, but you can't replace those pictures.
Yeah.
You can't replace that Thanksgiving mat that your kid made when they were 7, at Thanksgiving. You can't replace any of that stuff.
Right.
So, and no amount of money can replace those things. We have a picture of each of our kids playing the bongo drums at Animal Kingdom, same spot.
Yeah.
when each kid was about the same age. If I lost that, if I
Yeah.
lost those pictures, I would be devastated.
Oh, I know, right?
So
Yeah.
yeah, so there's not a perfect answer. What I do all three. I've got everything backed up to the cloud. I've got an external drive, and I've got a photo stick, and I keep the photo stick in a fireproof safe.
Yeah.
And once in a while, I bring it out to back up my computer and back up my phone.
Yeah. Smart. You got to start thinking. They say think outside the box. You got to think outside the house. So
Yeah.
we really do have a lot of great options. You can store up on a drive, which something happens, you still got them.
Yeah.
All right. So let's talk about display.
Well, we forgot one way. If you happen to be wealthy, and you want to have your own server somewhere, you could totally do that as well.
Exactly.
I do not have that option for me, so I did not
Right.
include that in the list.
Yeah, I was about to say neither of us are going to go with that option right now in our lives.
No.
All right, display. So Rob and I are again going to show our age here, but when we were kids, which hasn't been that long ago, right, Rob? Our parents just say, okay.
It's been a minute, Dan.
Okay. Our parents bought film and we made pictures on vacation. We came back, you had to take them to get them developed and, put the keepers in a photo album, fun stuff.
And you had to wait on them. Do you remember having to, like, you had the pictures made and you had to wait? What was it like? Was it 3 or 4 days or was it longer?
No, I think it was 3 or 4 days. And then I think if I remember right, it got to next day.
Right, right. Next day was the big deal, right?
Yeah, next day,
well,
man.
We are showing our age here.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's really how my family handled it. We have photo albums, and now those photo albums are, sitting on my mom's shelf or on my shelf here. And but a lot of people, social media has really become that photo album. I can't tell you how many pictures I have stored just because they're on Facebook.
Right.
That's our storage area. But
yeah.
What happens if some James Bond villain type guy takes over the social platform, which is possible, and runs it into the ground? It could happen. They run it into the ground, you lose all those pictures. Now, that's far-fetched, but, it could happen. Things happen, especially if they're man-made, they can be faulty. So you're entrusting your pictures to somebody else once again. Plus, who besides close family really wants to see all 357 pictures that you made on a vacation?
I'm not even sure close family wants to see all that. Maybe like 4 or 5. We get the point. Don't want to see, you eating food, so.
Right. Are you guilty of making pictures of food?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
I'm terrible about it.
Yeah. For example, there's this one dish at the back porch in Destin that we go every year. And if my brother's not with me, I'll have to send him a picture of it, because it's something that we always get when we're together. But yeah, guilty of it.
Especially if I'm in another country. Hey, look, I tell my wife, look, hey, this is Costa Rica cuisine right here. Check this out. Check this out. Check this out. I'm sending her 20 pictures of food. But, well,
nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with it. So maybe your family still prints off the digital pictures and makes photo albums. That's awesome. There are some creative ways to remember family vacations now. Sites like Blurb, Mixbook, Shutterfly. These sites give you the ability to actually make a book out of your family vacation pictures. Sites like Zazzle, Photobarn, they offer you the ability to transfer your pictures to all kinds of home decor items. Mpix offers some acrylic options for placement around the home. A lot of great options out there.
Yeah, I really love the thought of, let's say you go to Disney one year or you go to the beach or something, having a book of those pictures. That's awesome.
Yeah. It's kind of cool. People are getting to the point where they're having to look at options. We just cleaned out a storage room in our downstairs, and you find a random box of old T-shirts, and it's like somebody says, "Hey, make a quilt out of them." So now I said, I've never thought of that. So we have so many options now, though. It's kind of cool that we can think of new ways to preserve memories.
Yeah, I took a great with my DSLR camera. I took a great beach shot one year on the Gulf Coast, and I framed it. But man, there are so many options, so many different things that you can do with that now. Since my wife won't let me hang the picture in our house, it would be great to have some other options to display that picture.
Right.
Not that I'm bitter, but
not bitter at all.
No, not at all. But there are tons of options now. One option that I really like are digital photo frames. There's a ton of
Oh,
options on the market right now.
yeah.
The one that I'm most familiar with is a brand called Skylight. We
Hmm.
love this one so much that both sets of grandparents have one, and
Yeah.
you can simply email a picture to the frame, and it comes right up on the frame. And so there's really no excuse for not giving the grandparents all the shots. In fact, a lot of times I'll take pictures wherever we are, and then I'll just immediately email them,
Yeah.
and they've got up to date vacation shots or pictures of the kids playing sports,
Hmm.
whatever. So my mother's
Yeah.
told me several times that she'll just sit and watch the frame because there's always new pictures on it. So
Yeah.
it's really the easiest way to display pictures in the home. Now, when these frames first came out, we had one, and the quality wasn't great,
Hmm.
and durability wasn't great either. They didn't last very long. But like all technology, just keeps getting better and better.
Yeah. Well, I'm kicking
All right,
myself now that I didn't give my mother-in-law and my mom one of those for Christmas. I mean, if you
dude,
told me a month ago, I'd have said, genius, great Christmas
it's
idea.
it is so easy. It is, you have no excuses now for not sending pictures. It is so easy. So, and we'll have a lot of these links up on our show notes.
Mhm.
And just for the sake of transparency, if it's an Amazon link, we're an Amazon affiliate. So if you purchase from clicking in the show notes, Amazon throws a couple pennies our way. They do compensate us for that referral, but no pressure to purchase anything that we've talked about. Our recommendations are just that. They're things that we've used, and they're examples of other products that are out there. And by all means, get what works for you and your family.
Absolutely.
And let us know if you've done some cool things with your family vacation photos, or what you use to take them, how you store your pictures. Email me at rob@thefamilyvacationer.live, and we'd love to talk about that on the show, just the ways that you guys listen do all these things that we've talked about.
Yeah, and we'd love to see your comments on YouTube. Go to this
Yeah.
video and leave us some comments, some ideas and thoughts. We'd love to read them.
Hey everyone, if you're ready to plan your next family vacation, call my dad. He would love to help you as a certified travel agent. He never charges a fee to help you plan your vacation. Email him at rjones@starstufftravel.com. Get started planning your vacation today.
Well, that does it for this week's show. Please hit that subscribe button so you don't miss an episode. Till next time.
Thank you for listening to The Family Vacationer. Make sure and subscribe to hear more of Rob and Danny.